Hi, how we doing, folks? Your boy Marcos over here. Freestyle Friday. Don't worry, man. I was gonna kick in here at some point and talk, but just like that, man, I wanted to give you guys a little moment right there so you can see, how you form a bond with a character in ValiantHearts. I mean, that's it. You barely see this dog before as you walk by him once, and that's it. I knew he was gonna be a character in the game just because when you seen the trailer when I saw it E3. Obviously, you see the dog and whatnot. I'm over here a little bit confused. I'm like, how do I get out of here? I'm like, why not just smack this with my wooden spoon? And then that's actually like the diaries and stuff that they have in this game. So ValiantHearts, I mean, for you guys that don't know, man, I mean, it's an indie game, even though I can't consider it indie because it's made by Ubisoft, but it's that Ubisoft art team, the guys, the same dudes that made Child of Light and Rayman Legends. I mean, these guys have just been pumping out great work after great work, man. And the art style to me really captivated when I first saw this trailer. And also just how sad it was. So the game takes place in World War I, which isn't really a period you hear too much about. Everyone kind of remembers World War II, and obviously we got the Call of Duty series and the Medal of Honors and all the countless other World War II games that were out there at that time. But World War I isn't really something that gets touched on too much, and this game does it in such a way. I mean, it's got like a comic book style. The graphics look amazing. The story, and I'm over here, I'm just trying to figure out what the hell to do. This is pretty early on in the game. I just beat chapter 1 actually earlier today, and so I'm starting chapter 2. I'm not sure how many chapters there are, but I put in about an hour into the game, hour and a half, hour and some change. So this is not a full-on review what I'm going to tell you, but I'm kind of describing you a little bit of the things that I like of the game, a little things that I don't like, and how I'm feeling about the game so far in the presentation of what's being done over here. Just from the beginning, like the first story between this guy Emil and his, I think his daughter, I don't even remember right now. It is very touching and very moving. I'm sure that's going to keep going on through the whole game. So that liaison is good. The liaison with the dog is pretty powerful. Seeing that and seeing what's going to happen at the end of this video, you establish very strong connections with these characters who you really don't have much about. Now they have diaries that you can read and whatnot. I try not to read during the game, so I'll go and read them afterwards. That's one of the big negatives. I read in a lot of reviews, the fact that there's the separate diaries, and then there's the stuff, the World War I stuff, like this guy thing that pops up over here that I might hit accidentally. There we go. And it gives you like the descriptions and whatnot of stuff. I like that because I'm a history buff. That's the main reason why I wanted to get this game, because I heard about it. I'd seen that it had this detail. I'd seen that it kind of had based on some realistic aspects of World War I. I was like, okay, it's a loose interpretation of some things that were mentioned in letters of World War I. That's kind of the best description I can give you of the plot on over here goes. It's presented in this comic book style. I mean, you saw before where kind of like a little strip like showed up over there on the left edge of the screen, left top edge of the screen. That's really cool when there's some sections when there's characters that are shooting guns at you, and you'll see them whether they're looking at you or not through that. Graphically wise, I mean, it's amazing. It's crazy that you can look at a game like Titanfall, for example, and look at it and say, wow, this is great. The same thing with like The Last of Us when I get that for the PS4. I'm going to look at it and be like, this is gorgeous. Like, this is drop dead gorgeous. It's the same thing when I put this game and I turn it on, I play it for like 2 minutes, I'm like, this is gorgeous. You know what is gorgeous though? Marcos now realizes there's a ton of bombs there. And they're going to do it again just for good measure. I'm like, that was kind of strange. And they're like, you know what? Might not want to hit that. And the dog gives you context clues too. If you notice, for example, right now he's barking and whatnot. He'll tell you also where like hidden items and stuff. There's always your collector's items. It's a puzzle, action, platforming game at its best. And over there I walked away from a shiny thing. I think I might come back for it eventually, but for the moment I'm like, let me see what's on this side. So I thought that there was a passageway over there. That's kind of what I wanted to check out on this side. Notice how the dog again's barking over there at the ladder. You control the dog, tell him to do stuff and whatnot. There's also different characters. So far I've only gotten to play as a chick who's driving and in the vehicle stage, which was pretty cool. It was kind of coming at you in a 3D aspect while bombs were dropping. It was pretty dope. I've gotten to play as the dog in limited time. I got to play as Emil and Fred. Fred's pretty cool. He's a jacked American dude. The crazy thing about this game is it brings you moments of just despair. Like if you look at the scenery right now. Now I'm in the gray, black and gray because I'm talking to the dog. But look at this. I mean, this is despair. The tone's just sad, but the dog is happy. The guys are like almost happy. The sprites, like it's such a contrasted mismatch that's what really struck me in the trailer. Was seeing these two aspects and presenting something as serious and in the tone as World War I, and you're gonna have shocking moments like the one coming up here in a little bit that'll bring you down. But the game is not like that 100%. Early on in the game, you walk through like the barracks when you're getting ready, and there's guys with like just chilling there with like pink boxes. That's pretty funny. it's a game about like World War One, though. At the same time, you know, you're leaving like your family to go fight this war, and you got drafted. I mean, it's touching like so many issues in a unique perspective, at least to me. You know, I'm not too familiar with games that look like this or play like this, honestly. That presents such a serious topic, you know, and still managed to strike a balance so far, at least, with being lighthearted while being serious as well. And I had to stop. I'm like, you know what? There's a big missile there. Let me go around that. So these are just some of like the collectibles and like the hidden items and whatnot. Get myself a little achievement right there. I can appreciate that. I'm looking. I'm like, yeah, you know what? That just looks like a missile. I think I'm alright. So ValiantHearts, man. I mean, right now, early on, just reading it, just reading the game as I'm playing it right now, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Just because it is limited to what it does. But if you like World War One, if you like history like I do, I definitely recommend this game. For me, it's a 9, and there's no doubt about it. But that's personally to me. Check this out, man. So I'm talking about that raw emotion, man. Have a good weekend, everybody.